Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Not Another Mom podcast. It's time to take that mom hat off because this is after hours and I'm making you off the clock. This podcast is here to help you know your worth because damn girl, you're a goddess who deserves to live the life of your dreams. I'm your host, Lesley Sprague, and we talk everything from manifesting to motherhood. Yes, those little monkeys will still creep in here or there. Spirituality to girl talk with your besties, and from business to finding that balance in life. I'm here to remind you that you are worth it. Life gets to be easy for you, and your dreams really can come true. So grab your favorite glass of wine, craft beer, or if you're a whiskey and diet kind of girl, grab that and let's get this show on the road. Hey, beauties, and welcome back to the Not Just Another Mom podcast. I am your host, Lesley, and as always, I am so grateful that you are here with me this week. Okay, you guys, I have some exciting news to share about the podcast, and I really can't wait for the direction that it is going. Okay, I have talked about it a little bit before, but I have finally taken action on this, and you can now find the podcast on YouTube. I have uploaded all of the previous episodes. I'm still in the process. I've got a few more to go, but for the most part, like the majority of them are there. And coming next month, we are going to be adding a video component to the podcast. And I am going to be adding that to the YouTube channel. So as always, you can find my YouTube channel at Lesley & Co. XO. As of all of my social handles, they're all the same. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, but let's dive into this week's episode. Guys, this is like a really big topic for me, and we're talking about like the hardest thing that I have ever had to do and am still in the process of doing. This is a never-ending journey, and I know you know that. So let's talk about mindset work, you guys. I had a download about this on Monday, and I really needed to share this. Mindset work is literally some of the hardest work I have ever done. Literally, period, end, done. It is for me the hardest piece to get around. And I'm sure if you're listening, you agree with me 1000%. But we've talked about so many times how your mind is like the way you think, the way you operate, literally creates your desired outcomes. And I find that I can get easily, and this is like my own personal experience with my mind battles, my squirrel brain, but I find that I get so caught up in my head, and this might also be a result of my human design being a projector and my lines. I still don't know that much about the line part, but yeah, that my lines, the way they're created, I think I'm a 1-3, literally mean like I can go down a rabbit hole of a fact-finding mission and love to understand things like none of your business. So for me, it creates a literal never-ending mind game with myself. And I overanalyze things like nobody's business. And it often like creates like I feel like I'm socially awkward at times. And I know we all feel this, right? But I just if I could just let myself like be loose and not worry about things, it would be amazing. And I am working on, like, I am getting in touch with a therapist and working through this pieces. But yeah, I am so excited for the therapy that I have coming. And I can't wait to share more of this with you guys. So I'm going to kind of keep it up under wraps, but it might be a new healing modality. I haven't even done it yet. And I already know that this needs to be part of my toolbox. So stay tuned for that. But it is literally the hardest thing. And when I get stuck in these moments, I find that I retreat inside myself. And I know that is good for a certain extent. Like, I begin to think that something is wrong with me and I can't figure out how to make things work, which is part of the reason I began to figure out that I have ADHD. And I went down that rabbit hole of getting diagnosed. Um, Also, like when I work with my naturopath, she has the capabilities to test your DNA and see like what's working, what's not, and all that stuff. And lo and behold, the things that she showed me on my thing, but the dopamine production and retention and all of that, my both of the things, there was two or three, they were all abnormal. So my dopamine production and retention does not work. Um, yeah, so this is like, and I love finding this stuff out because it teaches me more about myself. And I know I need to learn this stuff to better help my listeners because this is part of my journey. And I feel like this podcast episode was so big, and now I'm having trouble processing all the things, but you guys get it. One of my biggest pieces for my mindset work is the self-doubt and beginning like having trouble seeing my own power. And I know you can relate to this on some level, but I think this is so much as to why I have chosen to do the work that I do and live the way that I live, because I want to continually evolve and grow. And this is why I have created, like, gone down a path of becoming a yoga teacher and why I'm a healer. I want to help people become the best version of themselves. And as an entrepreneur, like, it forces you to deal with this stuff. And that is one of the beauties of why I love this work. And to be honest, I don't think I realized that until speaking that out loud. This is why I also love podcasting. I used to think of it as a bit of a burden to have to record a podcast episode every week, but I've become finding more and more that I get to be more vulnerable because it's almost quote unquote like nobody is watching me. You know what I mean? Like when you get on an Instagram live, you can see people like popping on and commenting on your things. Like, I get to be more open and honest because I don't physically see people being in like listening to the episode or commenting or things like that. You know what I mean? Ah, so with this all being said, mindset work will F you up on your entrepreneurial journey if you let it. And I believe wholeheartedly that part of the biggest moments and ahas come from going through these mindset works. But when you are focused and determined on where you want to go, it doesn't matter what comes up along the way. Because those moments where you have those little blips of introspection, those little blips of, you know, quote unquote, thinking that you're not doing the right thing, they're just that little blips. When you look back on the whole journey, it's the continuous action that you've taken. And I feel like lately, the hardest part for me has been the process of I know what I need to do, but I don't do it. And that is a little bit of my ADHD brain. So, or ADHD brain. So that is like one of the hardest lessons to train myself on. And I am diving deeper into learning more on how to rewire the subconscious or unconscious mind. Those two words can be used interchangeably, they mean the same thing. But it's when you learn to master those thoughts that happen automatically, that is where the power lies in your mindset. And I feel like I'm stuck in this duality world where I know what I need to be thinking and what I need to be doing, but it's just keeping me like stuck in a sense because I can't continually think that way. If that makes sense. Like I can't wait literally for this podcast to come out on with the video component on YouTube because like I talk a lot with my hands and it's going to make my brain so much more understandable when you can see what I'm doing. Anyway, so all that being said, keep going with your work. The world needs you. It needs your light. And I just want to be vulnerable and honest with you because I don't want people to think that being an entrepreneur is the easiest thing in the world. Don't get me wrong. When you work with your mindset, it does get to be magnificent and amazing. And all of the things that you see other people living online and those people that you look up to, it does get to be that way. But be prepared for the work you have to do. It's a continual battle. If you're wanting to continue expanding your business, moving your business forward, we have to do more work and keep going. So it's like the never ending universal education that you're going to get. You keep deepening your understanding. You keep returning back to yourself deeper and deeper, clearing the blocks that you have. And that's just part of the process. Sometimes we forget about the journey we are on, and we're so determined on focusing on the destination we want or the past we had that we forget about the journey that we're on in the middle, or forget about the path. I don't know if this made sense to you at all, but it literally was a straight divine download, a little bit into the squirrel mind that is mine. I love it. Sometimes I get frustrated with it. If I'm being blatantly honest. Mindset work, she's a bitch. Sometimes I wish that like I could just be an ostrich stuck with my head stuck in the sand and just live completely in abyss, but I know that wouldn't work for me because I know I'm called for more. I'm called to show this light to the world, and I'm meant to deepen this understanding and help people deepen their own understanding. And I know you resonate with this at some point and juncture in your being. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have the same callings. You wouldn't have the same yearnings as I do. Just trying to be real, showing you what it's like. And that's one thing that I've always committed to in this journey for you guys is being real, showing the struggles because they're there. They happen. Just keep taking one step at a time. And if you need me, you know where I am. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys, and we will chat with you next week. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, will you do me a favor and help spread the love? Go ahead and leave a 5-star review and share this episode on your Insta stories. If we aren't yet connected on Instagram, come follow me at Lesley & Co XO. And since everybody spells my name wrong, that's Lesley & Co XO. And leave me a line and say hi. Have an amazing day, beautiful, and we'll catch you next week.